It's Feral Monday, so I get to do fun stuff like this. Even though I know none of y'all want to see this frosty lip. No one wants to see the frosty brow, but I do. I do. By the way, I don't know if a lot of you know, but I live in Texas and we are having a freeze coming through. So if I'm not here tomorrow, I will keep y'all updated. But one thing about where I live, our power grid likes to take breaks when it's cold. It's not really funny. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. So I'm going to be fine. I don't want you to worry about me tomorrow or anything. But if you're wondering, hey, why is there no tutorial tomorrow? It's probably because we don't have power. So I'm going to go pretty heavy on the glam. So I'm going to grab white base because I want this frost to frost. I want the blacks to just be super intense and have major contrast. So I'm going to take my C30 for now, and I'm going to carve my brow out, just the bottom part. And then, actually we have a little deal on this duo right now. I'm going to get you the link. And what I'm talking about, you're about to see. So I'm using the C30, which is our precision. You can use this for lips, a million ways to use it. And then I'm going to switch over to my C31. Picked up more base, and now we're just going to take this all over our lid. And anytime you use white eyeshadow base, you're going to absolutely hate your look until you're finished with it. So when you get the white eyeshadow base out, what do? We trust the process. I have filmed so much this week that I actually have a little dry spot here. So I'm actually not filming anything else today. I've told myself this. Plus, I'm hoping it snows so I can go play in the snow. I am just filming the story. I'm not wiping anything off and putting it back on. I'm just doing our Feral Monday fun time story. I'm having fun. Don't you judge me. We're gonna turn this into a superhero mask. But I'm not filming anything else. I'm not gonna do it. 6 videos later. So the eyes are gonna be actually rather easy because we're really only doing a touch of purple on the lid, frost on the brow, and then we're going to be doing just a black smoky eye essentially. And if you are new here, welcome. This might look gimmicky, but we really don't do gimmicks here. We do education. This is just kind of helping me make sure that my brows are decently symmetrical. I don't care too much about them just being perfect, but it kind of gives me a really nice guideline, and making sure that this base is really nice and even across here. Also notice that I do not have any concealer on. If I'm going to do a look like this, I'm not going to put anything under here that might have fall onto it. We're not doing that, but I do have videos on how to fix it in case you do feel more comfortable doing your. So in that photo, you can see that the black isn't just a harsh black. It's kind of this gray smoke black. It's right on the verge of being the darkest form of gray. So I'm gonna grab this palette, and you'll see that this is it's a black, but it has a lot of shimmer in it, which was very popular in the era of that photo that I found on Pinterest. Now, when we're working with any kind of black, dark shade, even a dark brown, a tiny brush is the key. And why are we using a tiny brush? It's because the tinier the brush, the more control we have. We're able to push it where we want it, and we want to create a much larger socket, so we're going out of our natural socket. My natural socket's way in here. I want to create an illusion of a much larger socket, so that's why we're going above. We will go a little bit in. I just tilt my head back and press the color in there, and we're going to take this all, and then I'm going to go ahead and link the brush, the E27, but you probably have a very tiny brush in your collection, so just reach for that. But just in case you don't, I will link this one, and this one is angled, so it's going to fit in here really nicely. Okay, so we're getting our first initial color laid down. I already have butterflies. I'm having so much fun already, and I'm so excited to do this type of look because this is something that hasn't really been around in a very long time. Just shimmer, and high contrast It just hasn't been around, and I am very excited to watch it kind of come back. But I think that when things come back, obviously the formulas have been updated. There's so much that's new and fresh about it, not because of the technique, but because of the formulas of eyeshadows, blushes, foundations. So it's fun to watch things come back in style with better formulas. So before we move on, I know you're thinking, whoa, not if you've been with me a while, you understand. You're like, she's got this. And while it might not be your taste, it's definitely going to be what we're expecting. So I'm going to take my favorite liner. I'm pretty sure these are sold out right now. And I want to do top and bottom waterline. And the reason I'm doing it now is I'm actually going to use this wet white base to my advantage. So I'm going to go ahead, put this in here, and I already warmed it up just a smidge, okay? Just warm it up a smidge. That's all you need. These are pretty creamy, so you might not need to. And I'm just going to go top, come over here, shut it, and then just roll it across, okay? And then you can see it doesn't get on my contact. We're good to go. Top and bottom is done. If you're at a little bit more of an advanced stage, you can hold it pretty far back, and I'm just kind of pushing it into my lash line. But if not, what we just did, that should be enough. And then we're going to grab an E26. And like I mentioned, we're just using this all to our advantage. And don't be worried about, see that? Don't be worried about that. We still have some stuff to do, but this is getting that lash line really nice and tight lined and nice and smoky. All right. Okay, let's keep moving on so I can stop scaring all of you. Now, I used my brushes yesterday. I actually didn't wash them. So I'm just going to do this. That should be fine. And then what we're going to do now is I don't have anything on the brush. We're just going to start to ever so lightly transition. And we're able to do that just by tapping. See how nice that's already transitioning? Oh my God, I'm going to need y'all to all sign an NDA. The man's on this call, business calls. Just got to keep talking so y'all can't hear him. And I love him, but he is so loud on his phone calls. I have my door shut, his door shut, but his office is across the hall from me. Oh God, I love it so much. But he cracks me up with how loud he can get on those calls. So now we're still going to use a heavy frost. Okay, we're getting MAC Nylon out. Do not worry. But I do want to take this shade. It's going to be absolutely perfect. Now Douglas wants in. This place is just going to shambles. And I'm going to go ahead and set the top part, kind of get us a pre-frost going, and it's going to smooth, and it's kind of the perfect color to set. That's why I picked this palette. Oh good, he made his way in. So normally I try not to what I call palette hop, but Feral Monday, it's just a free-for-all. It's just where we get to be expressive, because I try to do things that aren't overly complicated. You don't need a bunch of palettes for, but we need to palette hop today. I give myself Mondays to do it. So I'm going to use this color, maybe a dot of that color. And how I'm going to use that, I'm going to grab a fluffier brush because I want a very diffused application. In fact, let me show you where I'm placing it in the picture. So what we're going to do is you can see there's a little bit of purple kind of creeping into here and then a little bit on the lid. So that's where we're going right now. So first I'm just going to take whatever base was left on here and just smooth this out a little bit. Creasing is completely normal when this is not set. This type of base absolutely needs set. Taking the fluffy brush and I'm going to go into here and into here. And the fluffier the brush, the more diffused the application. And if you're thinking, wow, that didn't pick up anything, I want to be very delicate with this. Very delicate. 1, 2. On the middle of the brush, okay, not the side, just on the middle, because it's not going to cover quite as much space as the side. See, if I use the side, I'm covering more. If I use the center to press this, I'm covering less. So we're going to go ahead and just push that in here just a little bit, just to kind of purple up this eye look. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to clean all of this. I want this to melt into the foundation, but we're not there yet. Now I want to save the frost till the end, okay, because we're going to do the frost in here, and then of course we're going to frost up that brow bone. But let's just go ahead and finish up our liner here. Then we need our E26 again. And before this sets, we're just going to smudge it. Just give it a nice smudgy smudge. He's ruckusing in there. There we go. That looks nice. So I'm going to show you how we're going to clean this up and kind of diffuse it as well. Let's get the initial going. Let's get it going. We're going to need an E29. And I know I'm repetitive, but we need a fluffy brush for this because we want to soften it away. We don't want to just kind of harshly take it away. So I have micellar water here on just the tip of the brush, and I'm going to start to tap in here. Okay, look at that. Fun, right? Don't be frightened. Take that. Look, we got to get rid of the excess. That's why Sheila's here. So really quickly, if you're wondering about Sheila, I framed my other one. I need to show it to y'all. I had a pink towel. I just called it Sheila for absolutely no reason. And instead of doing a t-shirt or merch, I wanted to do something that we would all have and it would actually be useful. So we did Sheila, the makeup towel. Okay, this is already cleaned off. The fibers don't absorb. Back into some more micellar water. Even that out. And then we're just going to continue to do this. And you notice how it's not completely getting rid of the white. And we're not getting a harsh line. But it is fading it. That's exactly what we want. Because we don't want to put foundation on top of that. It could get a little, what we use the term cakey, was probably be what you're used to hearing. But let's go ahead and do the same thing over here. That's completely normal. That's going to be fallout. In fact, I'm going to switch a brush. I do want something a little bit more harsh for that. This is why we do our eyes first. Okay. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay, wipe that on Sheila. I also like to wipe my brushes immediately after I use them for something on Sheila. And the reason why is because if I go back and I have a too wet of a brush, it's going to be chaos. So the moment I'm done with this, I'm wiping it on Sheila again. Okay, back into more micellar water with the fluffy E29. And now, tap that around. And I want you to see what we're doing. So we're going to keep it running. Just keep softening it. Just kind of tapping it. There we go. Wipe it off. There should still be enough on here. And then, there we go. The rest we can just tap away with our finger. We still have to put foundation on. There's still more cleanup, but you can see this difference. I'm about to have to go turn up the heat. I'm cold. Actually, I might grab my other little jacket over there and turn up the heat. I'm a very chilly girl. And so many of you are telling me how cold it is where you live, but you're also so kind. And you always say, but I'm used to it. Whew, I have lived in South Texas my entire life and I'm not used to it. Not used to it. Y'all are gonna be so mad at me. These lashes are perfect for this kind of 90s vibe, but they're discontinued. I'm sorry, but they were just too perfect not to use. They discontinued this collab. This is the Patrick Ta House of Lashes collab, and it was really sad. I loved it. We're doing our Cover FX foundation today, shade M3. Let's go ahead and put that on our jawline. Ooh, that match. Where's my C42? So I think tomorrow we'll just do a look without foundation. I think that'll be fun. Also, I wanted to give my face a break tomorrow. I've been filming a lot, taking it on, taking it off, putting it back on, which I love doing, but I can tell that my face says, please give me a 24-hour rest. Just 24 hours. So I think that'll be fun because sometimes we don't want to wear foundation anyways, and I'm going to give you all the tips that I used to do back before I started to wear foundation. I don't know what Jean's gonna give us. A nap. I love this foundation so much. Look how blurring that is. It's so beautiful. I'm so glad that my finger slipped and I didn't tag it or tell you what it is. So let me do it in this one, but also let's watch it blend. What redness? Not here. And if you're looking for even more coverage, try the Cover FX Cream Foundation. Nice. Now, if you get to the stage and your under eyes look absolutely horrendous, color corrector. This is the color correcting stage. When we do our classic neutrals, they're very flattering. They add a little bit of glow, a little bit of warmth to the skin, but cooler tones, black in particular, just says, hello, under eye. I'm here to make your day terrible. So let's do just a hair of color correcting. So this one's actually just a touch too dark for my skin tone, but my drawer is blocked by another drawer, so we're just gonna go with it. So this is still in my range in terms of what color I would use. It just has a little bit too much depth for me. I would use shade light. This is shade medium. So I would go for a lighter peach, while this is just a little bit too dark, but it's going to be absolutely perfect. All we're gonna need is a little bit, and we're gonna use a fluffy brush to diffuse again. Because I feel that some videos that might have went viral over the years, they really had us thinking that we needed to have so much corrector underneath our eye, but what happens there is it just kind of ends up mixing with your concealer and then turning your concealer the wrong shade, which then defeats the entire purpose. So build up. Now we all need different levels of corrector, and I've taught that for years. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is start with smaller amounts and build it up instead of just going in the way that we would with our concealer. Even if you have the deepest, darkest circles, start with more than what I had on. Yes, obviously I do not have super deep, super black, dark circles. But that being said, always build up. Same with eyeshadow, really the same with everything in makeup, just build up slowly. Now my Kosas concealer, give it a nice shake, always shake up everything. Especially ones that are clean formulas. Sometimes the formulas aren't as, I don't want to use the word stable because then that sounds sketchy and like it's not a good product. They don't have the same maybe preservatives, the same ingredients. So they just sometimes need a nice little shake. But I mean, I shake everything. Just want to give y'all that little reminder. We're going a little bit heavier today. I might actually grab my lighter Kosas concealer too. I kind of want to do a really 90s white. I remember it was just very white, and that was because of the formula. It's probably not intentional. Yeah, let's grab this one. This one's 0.7C, and we'll use this to even brighten up a little bit more. See how much brighter that one is? Now, if I didn't have all of the balance underneath, this would be way too light, and it would actually defeat the purpose and turn gray underneath my eyes. But you know where it really wouldn't turn gray is these parts that stick out. This kind of sticks out. My nose sticks out. My forehead sticks out. But my under eyes, all human beings, that's going to go in. Especially if we have on big lashes. So that's why we really need the balance if we want to go lighter underneath our eyes. And when I say balance, I meant that corrector and even your actual perfect shade of concealer, which is normally 2 shades lighter than your foundation. Now let's just go ahead with our concealer brush. This one's from the Essential Travel Set. And we're just gonna start to blend this out. Now we're gonna come back over here. This needs to be softened into that eyeshadow. I don't want a harsh line, but what I need to do is kind of go around first, and I want it more rounded, not so sharp, and kind of the classic eye look that we're all doing right now. Very sculpted. We want very rounded and smoky. That was more with the time then. I love this concealer brush. I love it so much. And I love this concealer. Oh, and while I have you here, y'all have seen me start to use this. Yes, I did an ad with Kosas, but you saw it before. It was the Secret Concealer. And of course, now you're seeing it after. But what I want to tell you is that if you were influenced to buy this, this already has skincare in it, okay? I'm actually gonna post a video about that. It has so much skincare. I think the tagline is skincare packed. That being said, a lot of moisturizer, a lot of eye cream underneath this is going to be an absolute separating cakey nightmare, an absolute nightmare. So if you are going to get this, I want you to know that scale back your skincare with this one. Because think of this as pigmented skincare in a sense. So if we put this on top of our normal amount of skincare or wet skincare, chaos. So that's a really important tip if you are interested in getting this concealer. So now we're gonna switch to a fluffy brush, and we're gonna take that in here And by taking this fluffy brush and that concealer, it's going to give us the illusion that this is just melting into the skin and it's not just sitting there. Obviously, it's a very intense look, but this is a really good way to make sure that there's no harsh lines and that it just goes perfectly transition shadow into skin. So she looks like she just has on bronzer. I remember that era. I was part of that era. I enjoyed that era. So I think we're gonna go ahead. Yeah, I think we'll just do powder bronzer. And it looks to be a little bit warmer too. I'm trying to see, I'm blocking out my light. Yeah, there might even be some contour. That was obviously very big in the 90s. Fly hands. Let's use this wet concealer to our advantage at first. I'm just gonna kind of tap a few taps into my lashes, not on the waterline, just into my lashes. Then I have my E26 here. And then we're gonna take this and just kind of run it back and forth, and that wet concealer is gonna help this move around even faster and more easily before it sets. There we go, nice. Now I have my Nakia Joy setting powder, and I'm gonna go ahead and set my under eye. And then what I'm also doing is I'm setting that liner. So if you ever have issues with smudging, do it this way. Do it before you set your concealer and then get in there and set it as well. Game changer. Then we can go ahead and set these edges too to blur some more. And I'm just gonna go ahead and set my entire face with this. And then, hey, if you've ever wondered how to wash the puff, you wash it just like you would a sponge. I actually had that question today and then I just thought about it. Just like you would your sponge. Just make sure it sits out to dry overnight and you're good to go. They actually dry really quickly. And then I'm also going to set over here and we're about to bronze. This has been one of my favorite bronzers now. Okay, it's been the one that I've been reaching for, and the reason why, it's so blurring. It just adds blur and it gives us bronze, but it blurs and it look at that. I don't know what's in it. I need to research it more. I'm going to give you a link. I'm such a Kiko Milano fan. I'm so glad I discovered them. And I believe that this bronzer is under $20. Ooh, I'm telling y'all, this is a good one. I think that we need more shades, but maybe if we request them, we will get them. Let's cool it down just a little bit around here with this. These are new from Sephora. I've been playing around with them, but I don't have a verdict yet, so don't run and get them. But we can just cool it down a hair. Fun, right? And I love the bronzer the way it is. This is just for that photo. Don't I wear the bronzer the way it was all the time. And I'm going a little bit higher, but I'm using such a small amount that it's just going to cool the bronzer. I'm not contouring up here. I'm cooling. Are you putting on your makeup seatbelts? Because it's almost frosting time. And I'm not talking about the weather outside. We used this frost the other day and we all enjoyed it. We, as in me and a few of you. I think it's so pretty. But I think I want to make it a little bit more pale because the one that she has on is pale. This is gorgeous by itself. But I think I'm going to do a discontinued MAC lipstick on top just to make it a little bit more pale. Yep, perfect. It wouldn't be MAC if it wasn't discontinued. And then I want to do just a little bit of contour. So I'm going to grab Endless Cacao from Makeup Forever. Just a little whisper. So I actually added a little bit of MAC Nylon to the center of my lips. Extra frosty. I love it. It feels fun again. And then again, MAC Nylon that goes on our brow heavily. I love it. I know that we all enjoy different things. And this isn't going to be the style I'm going to do every single day, but I really do feel very pretty with this kind of frost on. And that's what makeup's about. It's just expressing yourself. Ooh, MAC Nylon. I love it. So nostalgic. So 90s. Oh, I just love it. I'm cold. I will definitely save this to my highlights. I hope that you enjoyed it. Something different. We haven't done this. I haven't done this in a very long time, but I feel like the frost even brings out the lighter tones in my eyes. Oh, so much fun. I love you all so much. I don't know what I'm going to post tonight, but I'll be posting, and I will see you there. Okay. I love you so much. In case nobody's told you today, I love you.